Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of tonight's RWL Rage in San Antonio. Don Hickson, Christy Ogilvie, and Myron Schimmelman here with 4 more big matches coming up, including the Women's World Championship on the line as Dynamite Jeannie Parker defends her title against Piper Niven.
Piper Niven, Babs Beckwith, and Chyna were the final 3, and Piper outlasted them all, so nobody can say she didn't earn the spot. Really looking forward to that match a little later on tonight.
Alright, let's begin the second hour with a good old-fashioned no-rules matchup involving ECW original The Sandman and, of course, the legendary king of the hardcore world, Terry Funk.
Welcome back, fans. Our second half opening, no rules match, is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing 240 pounds, the Sandman.
What a generational hardcore battle we are in for to start off the second half tonight, as that kendo stick swinging, beer swilling Sandman, ECW pioneer of the 1990s. Whoa, look at this. Getting himself psyched up for this matchup. And already bleeding by the look of it. Self-inflicted, but nonetheless, Terry Funk may very well find himself with his hands full in this particular matchup against this particular opponent.
I was banking on that. I figured, like you said, it's a generational battle. Terry Funk, well, he goes back to the 1970s. Sandman's from the 1990s. I thought it would be a really good no-rules match.
Terry Funk is the current Dallas-Fort Worth Wrestling Hardcore Champion. And while that title isn't at stake here, his status as a hardcore champion is just that much more solidified. And obviously, he's got tons more experience than the Sandman. That's not gonna mean much against Sandman, who just doesn't quit no matter how battered he might get. I think these two are gonna wear each other out, and it's probably not gonna be pretty.
That's exactly what I was banking on. I mean, if you're going to have a no-rules match, well, there's got to be violence.
And violence there shall most assuredly be, given the 2 contestants in this no-rules matchup. Would you get a look at the Sandman? Already bleeding from that wound on his forehead that he opened up himself with that beer can. Another factor in this matchup is the fans, who are evenly split down the middle. They all love the Sandman and they all love Terry Funk. No way of knowing which of these two is going to wind up getting his hand raised at the end of this one.
And to think, Don, this is just the start. This is only the beginning. We've still got Macho Man Randy Savage in the main event. We've got Dynamite Jeannie Parker defending the Women's World title against Piper Niven. It's going to be a terrific second hour of tonight's Rage.
And his opponent, from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, weighing 235 pounds, the hardcore legend, Terry Funk.
Terry Funk's hardcore matches, both here and abroad, are the stuff of wrestling history. Of course, Terry Funk of the Funk Dynasty, Dory Funk Sr., Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk, all of them well established and great competitors. Terry Funk, just looking at him, he reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin. In fact, he might have been Stone Cold Steve Austin before Stone Cold Steve Austin was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's an interesting theory. They do look kind of the same. Imagine them as a tag team together. That would be wild, wouldn't it?
Wow, make it happen, Myron, because I'd pay real money to see those two as a tag team. Maybe one day, right?
We'll have to see, Christy. We'll have to see.
Regardless of the outcome, this is going to be an intense no-rules matchup between the Sandman and the Funker. Referee Willie Johnson sounds the bell, and here we go. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Funker whips the Sandman to the far left corner, delivers a knee to the midsection, putting his boot right to the throat of the Sandman. Terry Funk in control from the early goings here. The Funker locks in a heel hook stretch on the Sandman. And boy, listen to this crowd, will you? The Funker turning the Sandman over again. Uh-oh. Oh, leg snap. The Sandman in trouble right away as the Funker goes right for the throat, literally. Terry Funk locks it up with the Sandman. The Sandman getting the upper hand here, front cradle. Slams Funker into the turnbuckle and tosses him out center ring. The Sandman beating the head of Terry Funk against the canvas. And just like that, the Sandman has turned this one around, knuckles to the temple of Terry Funk. The Sandman going for a sleeper hold. Mind you, they haven't picked up a single weapon yet. Terry Funk counters with a jawbreaker, backing the Sandman off. Funker locks him up, whips him to the ropes. Oof! Kitchen sink knee to the midsection and going for a quick pin. 1, 2, and early near fall for the Sandman. The Funker with a chop across the chest. Terry Funk with a scoop slam. Funker making his way to the outside. No doubt going to go under the ring looking for something extra. And there it is. The Sandman trying to preempt him. Disarms him from the steel chair. Drop toe hold on the floor outside. Face first into the floor goes Terry Funk. The Sandman locks it up with the Funker. Gets him back inside the ring. And gets that chair that the Funker was going to use on him. A chop across the chest. The Sandman quickly disarmed by Terry Funk. Spinning neckbreaker. To the Sandman, another quick pin attempt. 1. Only a 1 that time. The Sandman making his way to a standing position. A chop right across the face from Terry Funk. Sandman whipped to the ropes. Funker ducks under. An elbow right to the face of the Sandman. A driving knee right into the head of the Sandman. Terry Funk retaliating with a sleeper hold of his own. The Sandman equally countering with a jawbreaker. Separating himself from Terry Funk. He locks up the Funker, whips him to the ropes. And a back body drop by the Sandman to Terry Funk. Funker gathered up again. Hard kick to the midsection from Terry Funk. Locks up the Sandman. Sandman quick with the counter and a kick to the midsection of Terry Funk. The Funker gathered up in the front cradle again and hung up off the top rope. The Sandman rounds him up, spins him around with a hard right, goes behind on him, and back suplex. The Sandman gathering up that chair again, setting himself up a little construction project in the corner, but Terry Funk takes him down quickly with a clothesline. As the Funker goes under the apron and comes back with a trash can. Holy old hell. Oh! Terry Funk apparently done playing games here. A hard shot. Takes the Sandman off the top turnbuckle and out onto the floor. Terry Funk urging him to get back inside the ring. The Sandman, he obliges. Terry Funk whips him to the ropes. Ducks under. Here he comes. Another elbow right to the face of the Sandman as the Funker goes for another pin. 1, 2. And yet another near fall in this rather intense no rules environment. Terry Funk gets a hold of the Sandman, but the Sandman countering with elbows to the midsection. And again, the Sandman going for a sleeper hold. But again, Terry Funk separates himself from the Sandman with a jawbreaker, a hard jab, an elbow to the shoulder. The Sandman on the receiving end of the business here as Terry Funk delivers a hard right hand. A no-nonsense hard right hand from Terry Funk. Funk with a double leg snap on the Sandman. And the Sandman is reeling as Terry Funk grabs up that trash can one more time. Oh! Right across the leg that he just damaged. And he's going to keep trying to damage it. Another double leg snap from Terry Funk. The Funker leaning hard right hands on the head of the Sandman. The Sandman rounded up again. Kick to the midsection from Terry Funk. He sets up the neckbreaker and nails it. And the Sandman busted open already and in big trouble. Texas Cloverleaf from Terry Funk. Referee Willie Johnson checking the Sandman here, but Funker releasing the hold, indicating to the fans that he is in control of things right now. And he most certainly is. Terry Funk takes himself back to the outside, goes back under the apron, and comes up, oh my, with a sledgehammer. Terry Funk about to do some serious damage here. The Sandman stands up, catches that full sledgehammer to the midsection. The Sandman disarms him, and biting the face of Terry Funk. A hard shot to the back. Funker good to the ropes. The Sandman takes him down with an elbow, rounds up that sledgehammer, and starts to unload on Terry Funk. There's another shot, and a third, and a fourth. The Sandman quickly disarmed by Terry Funk, a running DDT right on the top of his head. Funker drives another knee into the head of the Sandman. Funker with a fist drop. And again, the momentum has shifted here in this no-rules matchup, as it will in a no-rules match. Terry Funk sets him up. He's got him by the belt loops. Terry Funk with a vertical suplex to the Sandman. Terry Funk gathers up that chair from the corner, decides he doesn't need it, charges, but the Sandman quickly counters. He might have wanted to go for that chair shot instead. Funker whipped to the ropes. Sandman ducks under. Here comes the Funker. Leapfrog from the Sandman and an elbow takes Terry Funk down to the mat. Again, the Sandman beating the head of Terry Funk against the canvas. The Sandman with knuckles to the side of the temple of Terry Funk. This match, very intense. Terry Funk now on the receiving end here as the Sandman stamps the hands and fingers of the Funker. You cannot wield a sledgehammer if your hands are in pain. Again, the Sandman repeats the move. Just stamping the hands and fingers of the Funker. This is, he's just going nuts. The Sandman gathers up the Funker. Hard shot to the midsection as the blood really begins to pour. Funker whipped over the top rope and out onto the floor. The Sandman steps out, steps back in. He forgot his sledgehammer, apparently. Terry Funk on the outside as the Sandman slowly approaches with that sledgehammer in hand. Another shot to the midsection. Funker quickly back up on his feet, locks it up with the Sandman. The Sandman gets the upper hand on him, gets a hold of the trunks, sets up the vertical suplex and nails it, possibly hurting himself in the process. Both these men already worn out after several minutes, literally beating the tar out of one another. The Sandman with a hard left drops Terry Funk. The Funker counters with both boots to the chest, quickly stands himself up, gets a hold on the Sandman, and hurls him towards the timekeeper's area. Terry Funk, one more time, shifting the momentum here as he gets a hold of the Sandman. Another hard right hand on the outside. No referees count. And no rules matchup. They can just go whatever, as far as they want. There's another neckbreaker from Terry Funk. The Sandman on the receiving end here as Funker delivers a kick to the leg. Terry Funk making his way underneath the ring one more time and comes up with a table. This could be very bad news for the Sandman. The Sandman charges, misses his attack. Funker quickly back in the ring. The Sandman right after him. Drop kick. Terry Funk hitting his head on that table. Sandman moves in on the Funker. A hard right hand takes Terry Funk down again. The Sandman. With a hold on the Funker. Another hard right hand over that table. Terry Funk being set up here for a pile driver. Oh! And he caught all of it. The Sandman quickly going for a cover here. 1, 2. But again, yet another near fall. In this rather intense no-rules matchup. The Sandman, one more time, setting up that project in the corners. Funker catches a running bulldog face first into that table. Sandman gathers up the Funker one more time. And there's a running bulldog to Terry Funk. Funker using the ropes to get himself back to a standing position. The Sandman rounds up the trash can. Oh! Head first. Pitches that trash can right to the skull of Terry Funk. The Sandman countered by Funker with an enziguri. Terry Funk drops the leg on the arm of the Sandman. And one more time, the momentum has shifted here as Funk rounds up that table. The Sandman quickly disengaging him from it. A stomp to the head of Terry Funk. The Sandman indicating it might be time to wrap this one up. Terry Funk catches a stomp to the head. The Sandman covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, and that is the end. The Sandman amazingly defeating Terry Funk in this no-rules match.
Here's the time, 12 minutes and 44 seconds. Your winner, the Sandman.
The Sandman bleeding from various lacerations administered to him by Terry Funk, but nonetheless the Sandman with a shock ending here, picking up the win over the hardcore legend Terry Funk. In this no-rules matchup, man, the Sandman, he certainly took a beating in this matchup.
I gotta admit, I'm surprised. I thought Terry Funk was gonna win this one. But, like we said, the Sandman, very, very tough individual.
He most certainly is, and he gave Terry Funk a difficult time. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll return with more RWL Rage right after this. Last week, Piper Niven won a 10-woman battle royal to earn the spot as the #1 contender for the Women's World Championship. Tonight, she has that match as Piper Niven challenges Dynamite Jeannie Parker for the Women's World title.
Right, so last week, with a shortage of contenders that Jeannie Parker hasn't already faced, a battle royal was held, a 10-woman battle royal on Snarl, and Piper Niven wound up winning that battle royal and earning the right to be the #1 contender, which is kind of wild because she's only been here a couple of weeks.
That is the nature of RWL, Myron. Indeed, Piper Niven's only been around for a few weeks, but that one move, that winning, that one single battle royal has transported her from a new arrival to the #1 contender for the Women's World Championship with an opportunity to dethrone the Queen, Dynamite Jeannie Parker, after 7 years and almost 4 months. And wouldn't it be amazing if Piper Niven were able to pull it off?
That would be pretty amazing, Don. But there's just that one little catch. That singular snag being Jeannie Dynamite's beaten each and every #1 contender to retain the Women's World title for over 7 years, defeating some of those opponents more than once. Yeah, Piper Niven did beautifully in the Battle Royal at Snarl, surviving both Chyna and Babs Beckwith to make it to this point. And yes, she's got a huge chance to turn the ladies division upside down. But she's still gotta face Jeannie D's super long track record. And that's something you can't deny or ignore. Literally, every woman on the roster has to be just a little bit envious of Parker's ongoing success. But man, the sexy soul sister of the squared circle also looking down the barrel of an opponent that could end it.
That's absolutely true, Christy. But, again, 7 years and 4 months, nobody's been able to take her down yet. Question is Piper Niven going to be able to do this or not? We're going to find out by the time the final bell is done.
next match, scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit, is for the RWL Women's World Championship. Introducing first the challenger, from Ayrshire, Scotland, here is Piper Niven. And her opponent, from Richmond, Virginia, she's an RWL double champion, and the reigning women's world champion, the Queen, Dynamite. Jeannie Parker.
An absolutely unprecedented 7 years and 4 months this will be. Jeannie Parker's 88th title defense, assuming she wins it. Piper Niven certainly ready for this matchup, and so is the Queen. Referee Willie Johnson sounds the bell, and here we go. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Jeannie Parker quickly taking her down with a splash. Piper Niven laid out center ring. Jeannie Dynamite with a left. Rounds up Piper Niven over the shoulders in a fireman's carry, takes her to the far left corner and smashes her head right into the turnbuckle. Down goes Piper Niven. Jeannie Parker with a boot to the chest. And now a knee to the throat of Piper Niven. Piper Niven, of course, winning that 10-woman battle royal recently to earn this #1 contender spot. And well, welcome to the jungle, as they say. A clothesline from Piper Niven taking down Dynamite Jeannie Parker. Parker locked up by Piper Niven, whipped over the rope and out onto the floor. Piper Niven going right out after the women's world champion. Jeannie Parker rolled back inside the ring by Piper Niven. Piper Niven moves in. Jeannie Parker laid out center ring, a stomp to the back. From Piper Niven, a big elbow drop right across the chest of Jeannie Dynamite. Followed up with a stomp as Piper Niven starts to assert herself in this matchup. A clubbing double axe handle to the back of Parker. The women's world champion quickly counters with a kick to the midsection, locks up Piper Niven, goes behind on her. Belly to back suplex takes her down, followed up with a stomp to the midsection from Dynamite Jeannie Parker. Look at this. Oh, what a deadlift slam from Jeannie Dynamite. An elbow to the chest of Piper Niven, her legs stiffened out. Wow. Piper Niven against the ropes as Dynamite Jeannie Parker gathers her up, front cradle. And whoa, driving knees into the ribs of Piper Niven, using the ropes to keep her up there. Followed up with a fall-away slam. And down goes Piper Niven again. Dynamite Jeannie Parker rounds up Piper Niven into a bear hug, trying to squeeze the submission out of her. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Piper Niven already beginning to battle her way out. There's a double ear clap that backs Parker off. A clothesline from Piper Niven takes Jeannie Parker down to the canvas. Again, Piper Niven trying to shift the momentum her way. Parker whipped over the ropes out onto the apron. Piper Niven tags her with a right hand. Brings her back inside the ring the hard way. A headbutt to Dynamite Jeannie Parker as Piper Niven really begins to assert herself in this matchup. The women's world title on the line, of course. Jeannie Parker shoved down by Piper Niven. Niven misses with the overhand right. Jeannie Parker has her up over the shoulder, slams her right back down to the canvas. Parker quickly going for a pin. 1, 2, no, barely just a 2. Just a 1, according to referee Willie Johnson. A hard right to the side of the head from Dynamite Jeannie Parker, who rebounds off the ropes. A splash across the midsection of Piper Niven. Jeannie Dynamite going to work on a down Piper Niven here. Takes herself up to the middle rope in the far left turnbuckle, and a big splash across the back of Piper Niven. Piper Niven in trouble again. Another rebound off the rope splash from Jeannie Dynamite. And just like that, the momentum has turned around again. Piper Niven with a gouge to the face of Jeannie Parker. She's got Parker up. Takes a walk with her to the far left corner. Drops her head first into the turnbuckle. Piper Niven moves in. Has Parker up. Oh, what a slam from Piper Niven. Piper quickly going for a cover. 1, 2. But no, Jeannie Parker finding her way out of danger here. Jeannie Parker in the far left corner. Piper Niven charges from the... Oh! She just caught a whole bunch of Piper Niven in the corner. A driving knee to the side of the head of Jeannie Parker, who rolls outside. Whoa! Piper Niven tries for the high-risk maneuver. Jeannie Parker quickly sidestepping her. Spins her around, and there's a BFT from Dynamite Jeannie Parker. A stomp right to the face of Piper Niven on the outside as the referee begins to count. There's a knee to the side of the head from Jeannie Parker. Dynamite Jeannie Parker gathers Piper Niven back up on the outside. Escorts her back towards the ring, gets her back inside. Piper Niven reeling on the canvas as Jeannie Parker. Oh man, she is fired up. A clothesline from to Piper Niven. Parker rounds her up, back body drop. Piper Niven gathered up again, and a spine buster dead center ring as Parker goes for the pin again. 1, 2. But another near fall as Piper Niven finds her way out. Parker can't believe it. Jeannie Dynamite with a stomp to the shoulder of Piper Niven. A quick rebound off the ropes. Oh, the splash did not work that time. She caught double knees to the midsection from Piper Niven and a clothesline to boot. Jeannie Parker slowly making her way up, catches a clubbing overhand right from Piper Niven. Another front cradle, another walk to the corner, and another hang up off the ropes. Here's another pin from Piper Niven. 1. Well, now this match, neither one of these ladies is willing to give up the ship. Piper Niven with another driving knee to the side of the head of the Women's World Champion. Jeannie Parker gathered up again by Piper Niven. Piper Niven slams her head into the canvas. Niven rebounds off the ropes. Oh! Dropping all her weight on the midsection of Jeannie Parker, and Jeannie is stunned. Piper Niven begins to go to work on Jeannie Parker. She may be sensing the end is near here. Parker whipped to the ropes. Niven ducks under. Oh, a spinning slam. Jeannie Parker certainly had the wind knocked out of her on that one. Parker winds up the arm, slams Piper Niven face down into the canvas. Piper Niven on the outside apron, using the ropes to get herself to a standing position. Dynamite Jeannie Parker just stalking her. There's a hard right hand from the Women's World Champion. She turns Piper Niven around on the apron. A set of 10-shot punches to the chest coming for Piper Niven as Jeannie Parker shifts the momentum her way again. In this Women's World Championship matchup, down goes Piper Niven to the floor, and Jeannie Parker is going out right after her. Yes, indeed, she is definitely fired up. Referee Willie Johnson starts the count. Piper Niven rounded up by Parker. Twisting the arm. Look at this. Slams her down to the floor. Jeannie Parker in control of things at the present time. Goes behind on Piper Niven. Piper Niven grapples her, but oh, another vicious over-the-shoulder slam by Jeannie Parker. And look at this. As they're up, reverse dominator, face first into the floor. Goes Jeannie Dynamite as the referee continues to count. Piper Niven rolled back inside the ring by Jeannie Parker. Parker moves in on Piper Niven. Drags her towards center ring. Jeannie Dynamite quickly rolls her over, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3, and that is it. Jeannie Parker retains the Women's World Championship for an unprecedented 88th time.
Sometimes it feels like nobody can stop Jeannie Parker.
Here's the time, 7 minutes and 59 seconds. Your winner and still Women's World Champion, Dynamite Jeannie Parker.
We always wonder, is this going to be the one? And again, Piper Niven had a huge chance, but Jeannie D had other ideas.
Well, this title match did get quite a little bit out of hand outside the ring, which is where Jeannie Parker wound up winning this one. As you can see here in the replay, Piper Niven momentarily stunned, and this is the move that basically ended the match. This powerbomb, and Piper Niven cracked her head on the lip of the apron. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more RWL Rage right after the break.
Man, that Jeannie Parker is scary. Speaking of scary, up next, tag action of the scary kind with Zeus and the Great Khali. facing the Big Red Machine Kane and his brother, the World Heavyweight Champion, The Undertaker.
Now here's a match that should have happened at Halloween Brawl.
The following tag team match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring along with Eric Bischoff at a combined weight of 635 pounds, the Great Khali, and the Human Wrecking Machine, Zeus.
Mr. Bischoff and his only two clients, Zeus and the Great Khali, making their way down to the ring for this tag team matchup with Kane and The Undertaker. And Myron, you are not kidding, this would have been an ideal matchup for Halloween Brawl.
Hey, better late than never.
Well, here's hoping these four don't destroy the ring as happened last week between The Undertaker and Lex Luger.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
While The Undertaker's presence all by itself is sufficiently ominous, it takes on a double meaning when his brother, the Big Red Machine, joins him in tag team competition.
Their opponents at a combined weight 640 pounds, the team of Kane, and the RWL World Heavyweight Champion, The Undertaker, the Brothers of Destruction.
As the Brothers of Destruction make their way to the ring, it must be noted Zeus and the Great Khali certainly have been in some high-profile matches of late. This one with the Brothers of Destruction and their last for the undisputed World Tag Team Championships against the Originals, which they obviously did not win.
You know, some people will say I've been cutting Eric Bischoff some nice breaks lately, and yeah, maybe I have. But those are breaks that Too Short Welfare Popeye will never have.
I'm not mad about it. While Zeus and Khali maybe aren't winning consistently, the opportunities for high-profile matches were definitely earned. Eric Bischoff, say what you want about the man, has stood by his two talents with serious conviction. I don't particularly care for Eric, but I can respect that about him.
You understand.
And so we will have the Human Wrecking Machine and the Big Red Machine going at one another first in this tag team matchup as referee Tom Kanamura sounds the bell. And here we go. Zeus with a hard right spins Kane around, goes behind on him, and slams him to the canvas. Kane quickly back up, catches another right from Zeus and into a blatant choke, but Kane backs him off. Zeus counters again with a kick, a right, another kick to the midsection, a left, and he's got Kane by the throat. And pulls off with a hard shot to the midsection and a stomp to the head and turns it over to the Punjabi Nightmare, the Great Khali. Kane currently laid out as the Great Khali drives a knee into the back of his head, turns around, leaves and turns it over to Zeus. The tag team mechanics of Zeus and Khali clearly in evidence here, a significant improvement over their previous outings. Snapped the neck. Tried to snap Kane's neck. That is insane. Zeus whips Kane to the ropes. Misses with the clothesline. Kane tags him with the right, gets him into his team's corner. Zeus counters. The Undertaker tags him with a cheap shot. A knee to the midsection from Zeus as he escorts Kane towards the ropes. The Big Red Machine being choked with the top rope as Eric Bischoff looks on confidently. And so far, Kane has had his difficulties with this team. Head first into the opposing team's turnbuckle as the Great Khali is tagged in. Here comes a double team from Zeus and Khali. Kane draped over the top rope. Khali with a double axe handle across the back of the Big Red Machine. And a claw slam. Here's a cover, one, but no, the Undertaker right there to break up the thing. Zeus whips him to the outside. The Great Khali, meantime, with Kane up against the ropes again. Kane whipped to the ropes. The Great Khali with a spine buster as Zeus and the Undertaker battle on the outside of the ring, outside of camera range. Khali tries for a bear hug. Kane counters. Khali shoves him away. A shoulder tackle that doesn't take him down. There's a knee to the midsection from Kane. Khali shoves him away again. Another shoulder tackle that fails to take Kane down. Kane, again, whipped to the ropes by the Great Khali. A collision center ring as the Undertaker is rolled back inside the ring by Zeus. Kane, shifting his weight, takes down the Great Khali, rolls to the outside with him. And he is on the wrong side of town. There's a stomp right to the chest of the Great Khali. Kane delivering stomps with the boots across the face of the great Khali. A kick to the midsection and a DDT on the floor. The referee already counting. Kane rounds him up. There's a kick to the leg. The Big Red Machine flips the great Khali over, drops an elbow on the knee of the Punjabi Nightmare. Kane gathered up again. Whoa! A knee right to the head of the great Khali. Khali gathered up again by Kane. Tries to get him back in the ring the first time. Succeeds on the second. The great Khali writhing in pain. Back inside the ring. Kane making his way inside. Nope. Takes himself to the top turnbuckle and delivers an elbow to the chest of the great Khali. And here's a pin. 1, 2. Khali powering out. Zeus came to the rescue. Zeus being shown the door here. Dragon screw on Kane by the great Khali, who takes a brief walk across the midsection of the Big Red Machine. Kane puts on the brakes. A dragon screw from the Big Red Machine. Meanwhile, the Undertaker working on Zeus on the outside. The Undertaker making his way back to his tag corner as Kane slips back inside the ring. The great Khali makes his way in over the top rope. Kane right there waiting for him. Escorts him to his team's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Khali. Here comes the Undertaker for the first time, the legal man in the match, as he takes himself to the middle rope and double axe handle across the arm of the great Khali. Khali whipped to the ropes by the dead man and a hip toss from the Undertaker as he beats it out of town and turns it back over to the Big Red Machine. The great Khali laid out center ring. Kane delivers a stomp to the arm. What a team. The Brothers of Destruction. Kane rounds up the great Khali into a sidewalk slam, and he goes for the pin. 1, 2. Zeus breaking up the pin, saving the match for his team. The great Khali slow to get back to his feet. Kane right there waiting for him, winds up the arm, top wrist lock. Khali counters with hard rights to the midsection of the Big Red Machine. Khali rounds him up, look at this, all the way up and all the way back down. Military press drop from the great Khali, who turns it back over to the human wrecking machine Zeus as Kane gets back to a standing position and whoa! Did you see him fly? Whoa, what? That took significant power from Zeus. Zeus dodges the clothesline, catches an elbow from Kane instead. The chop block doesn't find the mark. Whoa, what a spine buster from the human wrecking machine. Zeus tagging in the great Khali again. The team working very efficiently. Whoa, misses with the kick. Kane rebounds off the rope and what a kick right to the face of the great Khali. Khali counters with a shot to the midsection of Kane. The Big Red Machine whipped to the ropes by Khali. A kick right to the head of Kane. The great Khali going to work on the Big Red Machine. Grapples him, escorts him to his team's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes the Big Red Machine as the human wrecking machine Zeus is brought in. Double team incoming for Kane. Whipped up the ropes and a double back body drop as Zeus takes over for his team. A couple of stomps to the chest of Kane. Grinding the face of Kane into the canvas. Follows that up with an elbow across the back. Kane trying to make it to his corner, but no dice. Zeus right there to spoil it. Trading shots back and forth here. A headbutt takes Kane down again. And once more, the great Khali brought in on the tag. Kane laid out near center. There's a kick to the leg from the great Khali. Kane on the outside apron, using the ropes to get himself stood up again. The great Khali tags him to the right and out to the floor he goes. Eric Bischoff becoming directly involved here. Tries to get Kane back into the ring, but no dice. Oh! Driven straight into the ring steps by Kane. The great Khali catches a kick and a DDT outside on the floor. Kane slowly making his way back inside the ring. Referee Tom Kanamura continuing to count the great Khali, who is slowly beginning to stir. Zeus with a cheap shot to Kane. And the Great Khali back up, and he looks pretty angry. Kane seems absolutely unbothered as the tide begins to turn in this matchup towards the Brothers of Destruction. The Khali with a knee to the midsection. Kane counters with a knee. Gets a hold of the Great Khali by the scruff of the neck. Head first into the turnbuckle he goes. He counters, catches a shot from the Undertaker. Kane goes behind on him. Headbutt to the back of the head of the Great Khali, and down he goes. Kane with a stomp to the lower abdomen of the Great Khali. Khali rolls out to the floor. Kane takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Oh, watch out now. Changes his mind on the high-risk maneuver. Instead turns it over to the Undertaker. The legendary Deadman goes after Zeus. A shoulder tackle takes him out to the floor as Kane continues to work on the Great Khali. An overhand shot from Kane. The Undertaker waiting for Khali to return. And there he is as the legendary Deadman makes his way to the top far right turnbuckle. Khali slowly standing. And here it is, the double axe handle right across the head of the Punjabi Nightmare. The Undertaker with a rolling elbow across the midsection of the Great Khali. And now the Undertaker starts to really open up here as the Brothers of Destruction begin to assert themselves in this matchup. As we approach the halfway mark in the 20-minute time limit, head first into the mat goes the Great Khali as Kane is brought in on the tag. The Big Red Machine decides to take himself to the top turnbuckle here. The Great Khali catches a big-time crossbody, and here's a pin. 1, 2. But no, Zeus breaking up the pin. A stomp to the midsection of the Great Khali by Kane. The Great Khali counter slams Kane face first into the canvas. Here comes the Human Wrecking Machine again. Kane standing center ring waiting for him. Tries for the bear hug, but Kane counters with a headbutt, goes behind on Zeus, and into a Russian leg sweep on the Human Wrecking Machine. Kane tags in the Undertaker as Zeus makes his way to a standing position. The Undertaker charges, misses with the clothesline, gets caught from behind by Zeus. A headbutt to the back of the Undertaker's head. Zeus drives the knee of the Deadman into the canvas, follows that up with a stomp to the midsection. Undertaker counters with an elbow, quickly back up on his feet, a jab, a second. Gets a hold of, whoa, Undertaker goes over the rope and out onto the floor and on the wrong side of town as Zeus brings in Kane on the hard way. Undertaker rolled back inside the ring, and again, Zeus trying to snap the neck, and a running kick takes down the Undertaker as once again Zeus and the Great Khali begin to try and turn the tide of this matchup towards their side. A stomp to the back of the Deadman. The Human Wrecking Machine rounds up the Undertaker, gets a hold of him, escorts him to his team's corner, head first into the turnbuckle. As Zeus is brought in on the tag, here comes another double team to the Undertaker as they both slam the Undertaker hard into the corner. The Punjabi Nightmare with a double axe handle across the back of the Deadman. Pulls him over and goes for the pin. 1, not even a 1. The Great Khali quickly on the Undertaker, gets a hold of him, double choke lift and slam to the canvas. Once more, Khali going for another pin. 1. But Kane right there to break it up. The Great Khali turning his attention back to the Undertaker. A claw slam from the Punjabi Nightmare as he tags in the Human Wrecking Machine Zeus. Undertaker back up on his feet. Kick to the midsection of Zeus. A clubbing overhand right takes him down to the mat as the Undertaker turns it over to Kane again. Zeus and Kane, they have been at it. What a clothesline from the Human Wrecking Machine. Kane tries for the chokeslam, doesn't get it, winds up over the shoulders of Zeus. But Kane countering with elbows, disengaging him from the Human Wrecking Machine. A knee to the midsection from Zeus. Elbows to the midsection of Zeus from Kane. And Kane misses with the grapple, tries it again. Winds up in a front cradle on Zeus, slams him into the turnbuckle, pitches him out towards center ring. Kane going for the pin. 1, 2. But to no avail. Zeus kicking out of the pin. Kane rounds him up for a sidewalk slam just about center ring. The Big Red Machine perhaps debating his next move, decides to round up Zeus. Grapples him, escorts him to his team's corner, head first into the turnbuckle goes Zeus. Zeus counters, catches a shot from The Undertaker. Kane rounds him up quickly, insists on Zeus staying on their side of the ring. Here comes The Undertaker, and here comes a double team to Zeus. Zeus whipped to the ropes. Whoa, double elbows to the chest of the human wrecking machine, who rolls to the outside. The Undertaker charges. Oh, wow, over the top rope. Wow, unbelievable. The Undertaker taking down the human wrecking machine as referee Tom Kanamura continues the count. The Undertaker countered by the Great Khali. Zeus makes his way back inside the ring. The Undertaker with a running DDT right on the top of the dome as The Undertaker covers. 1, 2, 3, and this one is finally all over. The Brothers of Destruction picking up the win over Zeus and the Great Khali. Let's get the official time.
Here's the time, 13 minutes and 31 seconds. Your winners, Kane and The Undertaker.
Admittedly, Zeus and the Great Khali certainly not making it easy for the Brothers of Destruction, but at the end of the game, after the final bell, it's Kane and Undertaker with the win, and fire, as Hangman 6 Lynch might say. What an impressive win for Kane and the Undertaker.
You know, Don, watching this match made me realize that one day, if they keep going the way they're going, Zeus and the Great Khali, they're going to make a major impact. But unfortunately, that was not going to happen tonight with Kane and the Undertaker.
I'm with you on that, Myron. Zeus and Khali have the tools and the talent to maybe even be champs at some point. But they couldn't stop these two opponents.
When we return, Macho Man Randy Savage and Mr. Perfect in the main event. Alright fans, in tonight's main event, it will be the perfect one. Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, set to go one-on-one with Macho Man Randy Savage, accompanied by Miss Elizabeth.
Tonight's Rage main event is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, representing the Heenan family, from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, weighing 245 pounds, Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig.
The Perfect One, making his way down to ringside without the presence of Bobby the Brain Heenan this evening. But nonetheless, Curt Hennig set to lock it up with Macho Man Randy Savage in tonight's main event. And Myron, the Macho Man, has made terrific strides since abandoning Scott Bell and Bell Unlimited.
He sure has. Since he got back with Miss Elizabeth, it's been coming up roses for him. And honestly, Mr. Perfect is going to give him a tough time. But I think Macho Man Randy Savage is going to prevail in this matchup. He is on a hot trail to go get the Legends World title away from Roddy Piper.
And even Hot Rod can't ignore Macho Man's forward progress.
His opponent, along with Miss Elizabeth, from Sarasota, Florida, weighing 256 pounds, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Christy, Piper hasn't been ignoring Randy Savage. He's just not concerned because he's so confident because he's had the Legends World title for so long that he feels that even if Macho Man becomes the #1 contender and faces him in a match, Roddy Piper still thinks he's walking away with the Legends World title. And hey, you kind of can't argue with his success.
But by the same token, Myron, you can't argue with the success of Macho Man Randy Savage and the fans. The fans are always a huge factor in these situations, and they are firmly behind Macho Man Randy Savage. Now that he has reconnected with Miss Elizabeth, he has become the Macho Man of old.
That's a good point, Don. But here's the question. Right now, at this very moment in RWO history, is Randy Savage more popular than Roddy Piper, the Legends World Champion? I don't know about that. But he has definitely made big strides.
And so for the second time in as many weeks, a member of the Heenan family in the main event. Hopefully this one will end with a winner instead of a catastrophe like last week. Referee Willie Johnson Sounds the bell. They come center ring. Macho Man locks it up with Mr. Perfect. Escorts him towards the ropes. Savage turns him around, chokes him with the top rope. And just lets Mr. Perfect sink. Draped across the middle rope as Macho Man takes him down to the canvas. A rope-assisted knee right to the chest of Curt Hennig, followed up with a stomp to the face by Macho Man Randy Savage. Savage with a knee right to the side of the head of the Perfect One. Macho Man Randy Savage working the crowd here in San Antonio. Oh, an elbow across the chest of the Perfect One. Randy Savage rounds up Curt Hennig, a hard shot to the midsection. Perfect counters with a chop to the chest. A couple of hard rights stuns the Macho Man. Hennig counters with another couple of shots. Savage with a slap across the face. These two just going at it. Blow a clothesline over the top rope. Out onto the floor goes Randy Savage as Mr. Perfect makes his way to the top turnbuckle, and an elbow drop from 10 feet up across the chest of the Macho Man. As referee Willie Johnson counts. Savage counters, gets back up on his feet. Gets a hold of Curt Hennig. And head first right into the ring post. Macho Man Randy Savage, very aggressive in the early goings of this matchup. Mr. Perfect not able to mount a great deal of offense at the present time. Rolled back into the ring by Randy Savage. A clubbing overhead right to the head of Curt Hennig. Hennig rounded up by Savage. Wrist clutch kicks right to the chest of the Perfect One, followed up with a clothesline that takes him down. Macho Man goes for the cover. One. Not even a one. The Perfect One powering out. Catches a kick to the back from Randy Savage. With Miss Elizabeth looking on, Macho Man Randy Savage has made so much progress since abandoning Bell Unlimited and Too Short Welfare Popeye Scott Bell. Mr. Perfect laid out just about near center as Macho Man delivers another clubbing overhand right to the head of Curt Hennig. Randy Savage with, Perfect counters, ducks under, Savage against the rope. A hard knee right to the midsection of Randy Savage. Followed up with a Russian leg sweep by Curt Hennig. The Perfect One with a stomp to the midsection of Randy Savage. Followed up with a stomp to the shoulder as Curt Hennig tries to shift the momentum his way. And boy, is he looking confident. Randy Savage wraps him up into a sleeper hold, center ring. Willie Johnson checking it out, but a jawbreaker disengages Mr. Perfect from Randy Savage. Curt Hennig countered quickly by, look at this, a Lucas press, a set of hard right hands to the head of Mr. Perfect. Randy Savage firmly in control from the word go in this matchup as Mr. Perfect is laid out on the outside with the referee counting. Savage takes himself to the top turnbuckle, and here he goes, big time crossbody across the chest of the Perfect One. Referee Willie Johnson continues to count as Macho Man goes to work on Mr. Perfect on the outside. The Macho Man again hurls Mr. Perfect head first into the ring post. Tex Lynch would be singing his butt off right now. Randy Savage rounds up Hennig. Hennig counters with a clothesline, takes Savage down to the floor. The Perfect One rounds up Randy Savage, has him by the scruff of the neck and rolls him back inside the ring. Savage back up on his feet, catches a drop kick from Curt Hennig. Savage rolls to the outside, rolls back in for a quick reset, but Mr. Perfect right there and sets him. What a nasty neck breaker. Followed up with a stomp to the midsection. The Perfect One driving all of his weight into the lower back of the Macho Man. And now Curt Hennig displaying a little bit of arrogance here. Savage counters with a shot to the midsection of Curt Hennig. Has him up in a front cradle, carries him halfway across the ring, hangs him up the top rope. Savage going for another pin. One. Again. Just barely a one. Curt Hennig with still far too much fight in him. A snap of the arm from Macho Man Randy Savage. He flips Perfect over. Gets a hold on him. Hard whip to the ropes. Misses with the elbow. Perfect puts on the brakes, charges. and counters with a wraparound neckbreaker. Another pin from Perfect, 1. But again, just a 1. An intense matchup between these two legends. A sleeper hold laid in by Mr. Perfect. But Randy Savage counters with a jawbreaker, gets back up to a standing position, gets a hold on Curt Hennig. Escorts him towards the far right corner. Hit first into the turnbuckle, goes Perfect. Randy Savage with a headlock punch right to the face of Curt Hennig. Savage quickly off the middle rope, misses with the crossbody. Perfect gonna make him pay for that with a stomp to the back. Curt Hennig takes himself to the top turnbuckle now. And here he comes, an elbow right across the chest of the Macho Man. Again, Perfect going for another pin. 1, 2. As near to a near fall as we've had so far. Randy Savage on the outside apron, using the ropes to get himself to a standing position as Mr. Perfect joins him on the apron, and this could only be catastrophic. Perfect quickly evaded by Randy Savage. Savage has him up, but Perfect counters it into a DDT. Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig, trying to shift the momentum his way here. Randy Savage whipped to the ropes. Perfect ducks under. A collision with no result. Another move that fails for both men. Randy Savage rounds up Mr. Perfect. Hard shot to the midsection. Doubles Perfect over. Follows it up with another. He's trying to make Perfect lose his lunch. Perfect whipped to the ropes. An elbow from Randy Savage takes him down to the canvas. Macho Man Randy Savage regaining control of this matchup rather quickly. Mr. Perfect taken down to the canvas. A rope-assisted stomp to the chest from Macho Man Randy Savage. Followed up with another stomp to the midsection. Mr. Perfect gets the arm snapped one more time. Randy Savage pretty dominant in this matchup against the Perfect One, who has not mounted a great deal of offense. Randy Savage going all the way up topside here, waiting for Mr. Perfect to stand himself up. And here comes the Macho Man, double axe handle right across the head of Curt Hennig. Randy Savage going up topside one more time. Changes his mind on the high-risk maneuver, decides to round up Curt Hennig instead. Hard Irish whip to the ropes. Savage with a shot to the midsection. A kick to the gut. A rebound off the ropes for Savage. A knee to the head and another rebound off the ropes and a clothesline. Nice combination from Randy Savage as he pins, covers, and hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, this one is all over. Macho Man Randy Savage picks up the win by pinfall.
Here's the time, 7 minutes and 49 seconds. And your winner, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Well, you know, Don, all I can say is if Randy Savage keeps performing the way he's been performing like he did tonight against Curt Hennig, Rowdy Piper definitely got some cause for alarm.
Randy Savage cleaning the clock on Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig. Look at this combination move that put an end to this main event matchup. And Randy Savage is definitely on the way up. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that main event brings to a close this edition of RWL Rage. As always, we thank all of you for joining us and for supporting RWL. Our next RWL telecast will fall on Saturday night, November the 22nd from Dallas, Texas. RWL Snarl returns as Hangman Takes Lynch celebrates his birthday. For all of us here, Christy, Myron, and myself, Don Hickson, thank you, good night, we'll see you next time at ringside. Good night, everybody.